Hello students, I am Rakesh Chauhan working as PGT Physics in Suraj Group of Schools. I welcome you all in the e-learning classes of physics. Today we are going to discuss about the applications of Ampere's law. As you can recall from your last lecture that we have started with Ampere's law, we have proved the Ampere's law, and also we have discussed its two applications. The very first application of Ampere's law was to determine the magnetic field due to a straight current carrying conductor, which you might have seen becomes very easy so far as Ampere's law is concerned. Otherwise, using Biot-Savart's law and to derive the formula, same formula in fact, it will take long time as well as it becomes very tedious to derive that formula. Okay, so and the second application we have discussed was to find the magnetic field outside a solid cylinder, current carrying solid cylinder, and inside the solid cylinder, which we can presumed as a thick wire also. So in this video we are going to discuss the remaining two applications of Ampere's law which are in your syllabus. So I am starting with the third application, magnetic field due to a solenoid. So first question comes in our mind that what is solenoid? So you must have heard about solenoid in class 10th also. A solenoid is a hollow cylindrical structure on which the conducting wires like copper wires are wound along its length. So such type of structure we term as solenoid. These are the wires which are insulated and made of good conductor like copper, and these are wound along its length. And one more thing about the solenoid is that its length should be high, or its length should be large as compared to its diameter. Suppose this is the radius of this solenoid, so and this is the length of this solenoid, capital L I have taken here as capital L. So this length L should be far greater than the radius of this solenoid. So this is the condition for any cylindrical structure to become a solenoid. Okay, so these are the wires, or we can say loops, made of conducting wire. And suppose I current is flowing through this solenoid. I current is flowing through this solenoid in clockwise, we can say anti-clockwise direction in fact. Okay, and this axis is known as axis of solenoid. So we want to derive the formula of magnetic field inside the solenoid, or in fact at its axis, which we have represented by this dotted line using Ampere's law. So as you all know that for applying Ampere's law, we first have to construct a closed path which is known as Ampere path. So here we are assuming this path, which is closed path P Q R S, as Ampere's path or path L. So over which we are going to apply Ampere's law, because Ampere's law is always applicable on a closed path. So first we have to construct a closed path. So this is the closed path we have assumed, P Q R S, and we are moving in the same direction as I have mentioned, P Q R S. Okay, and suppose the length of this PQ path is suppose small l, where capital L is the total length of this solenoid, but small l suppose is from P to Q. Okay, so let us try to apply Ampere's law, and this Ampere's law is applicable on this closed path, that is PQRS. So according to Ampere's law, what can be written? the closed integral of magnetic field vector over a path L is equals to mu 0 times the total current enclosed by the closed path, which is PQRS here. Okay, now this complete path L is not having the same angle between magnetic field and dl vector. Let us have a look. For this part PQ, the direction of dl vector will be in this direction along PQ, and the magnetic field vector will be in this direction. So the magnetic field, due to all these loops in which the current is flowing in anti-clockwise direction, will be, according to right hand rule, will be along its axis. So B vector, the direction of B vector will always be along the axis of the solenoid, inside the solenoid in fact. Okay, and the direction of dl vector so far as segment PQ is concerned is same as that of B vector. So we can say here the angle is 0 between B vector and dl vector. But what if I take dl vector on any of the segment of QR? So you will say the angle will be 90 degree between B vector and this QR vector. So here the angle is different. Same for RS, the angle will be 180 degree, and same for SP, the angle will be 90 degree. So what I am going to do, I will bifurcate this closed path L into 4 segments, one from P to Q, another from Q to R, and R to S, and last is from S to P. So I am writing down this closed integral as integration from P to Q, B dl cos 0 in fact, plus integration from Q to R, B dl cos 90, because the angle between dl vector and B vector for this segment is 90 degree, plus integration B dl cos 180 degree. Okay, although this B is 0, because we are talking about RS part, and this RS part is outside the solenoid, and you must have heard, or you must have studied in class 10 that outside the solenoid the magnetic field is almost 0. So just upper of the solenoid and just below the solenoid the magnetic field is always to be 0. So therefore, since magnetic field is 0, therefore this complete term will become 0. So we will discuss it later. And the last term is from S to P, and for S to P also what can be written? B dl cos 90 degree, and this should be equal to mu 0 I enclosed, which is I enclosed here is the total current enclosed in this path L. So we will discuss it later that how much total current is there. Okay, now simplifying this, we can have B dl integration from and now it is no more closed integral, so from P to Q, and plus this becomes 0, this also becomes 0 because B is 0, and this also becomes 0. So these three terms becomes 0. So I am writing down simply here as from P to Q B dl, and this is mu 0 I enclosed. This is suppose equation first. Now let us talk about this I enclosed. So I enclosed can be found out simply by multiplying the number of turns per unit length in this solenoid to the current, or to the length small l. So n into L. These are the total number of turns in L length, and the current flowing in these loops are I ampere. So the total current or effective current will be NLI. You can take one more look on this, how it is NLI. So I'm assuming here small n as the number of turns per unit length wound on the solenoid, per unit length of the solenoid. Now L length consists of capital N number of turns. unit length consists of n divided by l number of turns. This is known as small n. And if I want to find the total number of turns in L length, which is from P to Q, so it will become n into L. So these are the total number of turns, and if I multiply these total number of turns by the current flowing through the loop or one turn, so it will be the total current enclosed in this length or in this loop, we can say. So this is how I wrote down here I enclosed is equal to NL I. So this is equation second. Now putting the value of I enclosed here, integration no, it is not close integration, integration BdL from P to Q is equals to mu 0 NLI. Now this B is constant throughout this entire length P to Q, therefore this B can be taken outside this integration, and we can write down it as B integration dl from P to Q is equals to mu 0 NLI. Now what is this integration dl from P to Q? So you will say integration dl from P to Q will itself become small l, because this is the total length. So B into L is equals to mu 0 NLI. This L will cancel out this L, so B becomes mu 0 Ni. So this is the formula of magnetic field at the axis of a solenoid, which depends upon the permeability of free space, small n number of turns per unit length, and current I. So if we want to increase the magnetic field, then we have to increase the current, or the better way is to increase this small n. This is how we can increase this small n. So if these turns are closely packed, means number of turns per unit length are more, we can say on unit length the number of turns are more and more, or we can say multiple layers of turns can be wound on the same solenoid for increasing the magnetic field at the axis of solenoid. One more way to increase the magnetic field, effective magnetic field, is to replace the air within this solenoid by a paramagnetic, or in fact ferromagnetic material. Like we insert a rod inside the solenoid, and therefore the permeability of the medium increases, and thereby increasing the magnetic field. So this is how electromagnets are made. Solenoid is one of the example of electromagnet, and you all know that electromagnet is the magnet which behave like a magnet when current flows through the circuitry, and otherwise if current is not flowing, it behaves as a simple material, we can say. So for making strong electromagnet, we simply insert an iron rod which is is having high permeability, or which is a ferromagnetic material. So this is how we can apply Ampere's law to find the magnetic field at the axis of a solenoid. Now we will discuss its fourth application, which is magnetic field at the axis of a toroid. So now let us discuss its fourth application, magnetic field due to a toroid. Now question comes in our mind that what is toroid and how it is different from a solenoid. So if basically if we see that this toroid is nothing but the circular shape of a solenoid, or we can say if I join the two ends of a solenoid such that they form a circle or in circular form, then it becomes a toroid. So toroid is nothing but the circular shape solenoid, or a solenoid whose two ends are joined to form a circle. Okay, so this is a toroid and we want to derive the formula of magnetic field at its axis. So this is the axis of solenoid, this is toroid, and this is the axis of the toroid. Same as that was the axis of solenoid. That was the axis of solenoid. This is solenoid and this was the axis of solenoid. So this is, in the same way we can say, this is the axis of this toroid. Okay, so we want to derive the formula of magnetic field at the axis of the toroid. And here you can also see that this axis of the solenoid is what we are going to take as the path L, which is necessary for applying Ampere's law. So this axis will also work as our closed path or Ampere path. So let us apply Ampere's law. Using Ampere's law on path L or along path L. Ampere's law along path L, what can be written? Integration B vector dot dl vector over closed path L is equals to mu 0 times the total current enclosed in the closed path or Ampere path. Okay, now the magnetic field at any point in this toroid can be found out using right hand thumb rule, and the current is flowing in this direction in the circular loops, we can say. So magnetic field will be at tangential direction, or we can say magnetic field will be along the tangent on any of the points. So I am here assuming as this as dl vector, and the direction of magnetic field will itself along the tangent on this point. So the direction of B vector and dl vector will be same. So here I can write down that B dl cos 0 integration over path L is equals to mu 0 I enclosed, and this angle is hold for each and every point on this axis. Wherever you can assume this dl length, and you will find that this B vector will be always along this dl vector. So the angle will always be 0. So it can be written as B dl integration over path L is equals to mu 0 I enclosed. Now suppose this is equation first. We have to put the value of I enclosed here in this equation first to find the magnetic field. Okay, now how can we calculate this I enclosed or total current enclosed by this Ampere path? So you will say if I multiply the total number of turns by the current flowing in one turn, so this will be the effective current or I enclosed. So I enclosed can be written as I enclosed is equals to number of turns per unit length into total length. So total length of this Ampere path will be 2 pi r if r is the radius of this toroid. So number of turns per unit length multiplied by total length, that is 2 pi r. These are the total number of turns in this toroid, and if I multiplied this total number of turns by current flowing through one turn, then it will be the effective or I enclosed, we can say. So putting this value into equation first, we can write down integration, or we can take B outside the integration because this is constant at each and every point on the axis. Only the direction will keep on changing. So integration dl over path L is equals to n into 2 pi r into I and multiplied by mu 0 also. So I can write down here mu 0 times I enclosed. Okay, now B and integration dl over path L. So integration dl means dl all will be sum up. So finally we get the circumference of this toroid, or what we can say, it is 2 pi r in fact. So 2 pi r is equals to mu 0 n into 2 pi r times I. and this 2 pi r will cancel out by this 2 pi r, so it comes out to be b0 is equal to mu 0 n I. And interestingly, this derivation or this formula is same that as of solenoid, means toroid is same as solenoid. So this n is number of turns per unit length, which was also in case of solenoid. So we can say that toroid is nothing but simply a solenoid which is bent in the form of a circle. So this is all about the applications of Ampere's law, and in our next video we will try to do some numerical problems on the topic applications of Ampere's law. For the time being, or for now, you can